Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about how much bots love hype sales and if your SOC is armed for your next big event. We're just going to be waiting on a few people to join here, so we'll just get started in a couple minutes. If you have any questions that we'll be addressing at the end of this discussion, please feel free to leave them in the chat. Be happy to answer those for you. So yes, welcome everyone. Very excited to get started. Hello, hello. I'm sure people are joining here. Again, we're excited to have you. Excited to discuss hype sales and how bots love them as well. So yeah, again, for those that just joined, we're just waiting on a few more people before we get started. Probably just another minute here or so, and we'll go ahead and dive in. All right, let's see here. All right, so maybe I'll just go ahead and dive in here. So we'll start with introductions. So first, I'll quickly introduce myself. So my name is Jared, and I work on our customer success team here at Datadome. Basically, I'm working with our partners to ensure that they're up to date on all the new trends and patterns that we're seeing in the bot world, and really making them as successful as possible so that they're armed to constantly be prepared against all the threats that we see. Joining me today is my colleague Antoine. Antoine is really a bot expert. He actually has a PhD in bot protection. He leads our threat research team here at Datadome. Is constantly working on refining our model, and really is an integral part of the team. So he'll be leading a part of the discussion today. So we want to welcome Antoine as well.
Thanks for the introduction, Jared.
You're welcome, Antoine. Absolutely. So quickly, just to get started, before we kick off, there's a few figures I'd like to share with you that I think are pretty noteworthy before we get into the rest of our discussion. But on a normal business day, every 1 millisecond, we're actually detecting and blocking a new pattern of bot that we are detecting across all of our partners that we're protecting, be this their website or their mobile apps. So it's pretty astounding when you think about that and just the challenges that a lot of people are facing that are running businesses online. But one new pattern every millisecond, pretty remarkable figure there. And that was just on a normal business day. So discussing during a hype sale. So whether that be a drop of limited edition products, so like a limited edition sneaker or a gaming console, we can see at minimum 5 times the amount of attacks than on a normal business day. And really depending on the vertical that you're in, this number could be 20 times, 30 times. Bots are very aggressive, and they definitely have a lot of reasons for attacking depending on the industry that you're in. But it is quite remarkable to see how those figures will jump during a launch or a busy holiday season. So moving into the next, so Cyber Weekend. So we all know Black Friday and Cyber Monday every year. It's getting more and more transactions are occurring. More money is being exchanged. What I think is really interesting is that this past Cyber Weekend in 2020 was 19% more money exchanged than in 2019. So that's a really huge number, and definitely we want all of our clients to be protected during these events, because it's crucial to ensure the best customer experience and make things go as smoothly as possible. At the end of this discussion, hopefully you'll be leaving with some actionable insights. The type of bots that we're seeing, the advanced bot technologies and tactics, that we're observing across of all of our customers that we're protecting. Why good enough bot protection is just not going to make the cut, especially during high stake hype sales. A lot of teams think that maybe a WAF or just protection from their host platform is sufficient, and that's really not the case. And Antoine's going to be going into that further during this discussion. We're also going to show you what happens behind the scenes, of an actual human bot SOC team, and show you some real-world case studies. So hopefully you'll glean some insights and learn something today. Just quickly going over our agenda. So I'm going to take you through the bot journey. Just the endpoints on your site that are exposed to potential bot activity. What bots and the behaviors that change during flash sales, and what hype sales look like from our side, and some of the observations that we've seen with numerous clients that do have limited edition products, and not to mention, as I was mentioning earlier, during Black Friday and huge events like that. And we're going to give you some action items as to what you can do to protect yourself during these times. All right. So understanding the bot journey. Really every step of the customer journey is exposed to bot attacks. I know that we have some CTOs, security experts in the audience, but really a lot of people are under the assumption that it's about setting a CAPTCHA or rate limiting, but there really is a lot more going on that you need to do to properly protect yourself. So really, I just want to make everyone aware that really every single step of that customer journey is a potential target for bots. So today we're actually just going to use Walmart as an example, as the #1 online retailer by volume, and everyone's familiar with them. So we're just going to take a look at their site and kind of go over, where those endpoints are that are really attracted to bots. So bots have gone mobile. So it's no longer about just protecting a website. All endpoints really have to be considered and are as equally important. So your mobile applications, your APIs, it's necessary that those are covered just as well as you're covering your websites as well. In terms of focusing on the website, just right now I can see several very attractive endpoints for bots to target. So we'll get into that a little bit further on the next slides. So the first point of typical contact with bots is going to be your product. So when you're having your prices listed, your reviews listed, whatever it may be, you're potentially exposing yourself to scraper bots that might be scraping that information. So just to get in a bit further here, so you might have competitors that are saying, oh, Walmart's doing free shipping here, we can do that as well. What's the price for this Xbox? You could have people undercutting you by price, taking away potential business from you. We've even seen reviews that are potential targets for bots. So your hard-earned reviews that you've earned, could potentially be taken and displayed on your competitor's website. So it's essential, even though this information is public information, you don't want it getting into the hands of your competitors in real time so that they can go and adjust their prices against what yours are. So again, just to recap here, so product listing, prices, you can even have bots that are scraping your inventory to see, what kind of volume of stock that you have. So that's definitely not what you want. It's compromising your business. So definitely want to highlight that. The next portion is, of course, our login. So that's a really important one. You look at your account here, and really this should be designed, for your legitimate customers, right? So that it can enhance the shopping experience. But this is actually a huge target for bots, and the repercussions from them getting in here, can be quite large. So what can they do here? So they can actually create fake accounts. They can get in there and take over existing accounts, which obviously is the worst customer experience possible. You can have customers' data being exposed through this, personal identifiable information. Credential stuffing, account takeovers, not something that you guys want to deal with. But this is a major endpoint that we're protecting for a lot of our clients, and want to make sure this is secure as possible. So again, they can be creating fake accounts. They can be accessing your customers' data. Really, really bad stuff. The third point I want to talk about is actually the checkout cart. So you may ask, why is that important? Well, it's important because you can have bots that are adding to your carts, taking up inventory away from legitimate users. This also can come into play with inventory hoarding. You have bots buying up products that are limited edition and then reselling them, through other channels and making a profit, and really taking away that opportunity for your legitimate customers to acquire a product. So even though you might be selling the product, it's going to create a bad experience, for your legitimate customers. So here you can have add to cart. So this is automatically taken away from your inventory. It could be even a nefarious competitor that's trying to keep your stock, unavailable, which moves into my next point in the checkout. So right now we have, an Xbox, and we have, that's taken away from the inventory. We see only 6 left. So if you have someone that's holding your inventory, whether it be, they're buying it or just, keeping it off the market, that's definitely not anything that you want to see on your site. Also here, with this on Walmart specifically, choosing delivery times. So that's really taking up the inventory again, and preventing it from going to legitimate customers. So definitely not something that you want to have to deal with. Finally, moving on to our payment touch points. So this is also very, very important. So you have credit card, stuffing, just trying random numbers. And while you think, okay, whatever, maybe they're not going to get through, maybe they will, every attempt can be a charge for you, through your banking system. And that's not something you want, So also equally as important to protect our payment portals as well. They can also access, promo codes that may be in your customer's, bank, maybe some loyalty reward points that they have. So not even just, credit card stuffing and using fraudulent cards. You could have nefarious bots coming in and actually taking, reward points from your customers. So that's obviously something you don't want to have to deal with. So really, some of the key takeaways here. So starting off back with that home page, scraping and checking prices, checking your reviews, stealing that information is one of the first things that we need to be concerned about. Competitive intelligence and duplicated content. Really a quick aside here. We do have a client that we work with. I won't name them. But they are kind of in a classified listings business, and they actually had scrapers that were stealing their listings and then trying to sell them back to them, which I thought, wow, that's really something and pretty bold. But it just goes to show you, how creative and aggressive some of these nefarious actors can be. Again, our login portals. So it could be damage to your reputation, legal costs from a data breach, nothing that you want to have to handle. We've all seen it before. A lot of cleanup has to go into these things when bad actors get into your customers' data. It's happening all the time. So we want to do everything we can to protect that from happening. Again, to summarize with the cart, you'll have potentially angry brands that work with you, and definitely angry customers who aren't able to get access to the products that they really want to buy. And then finally with checkout. So, reputational concerns there. And again, legal concerns and those inflated fees when people are just, trying to try different cards and you're getting a charge from the bank every time they do that. So we're going to move on here. So to talk about what bots look like during hype sales and how those differ from, a typical day of business. And perhaps I'll turn this over to Antoine now. So again, welcome, Antoine. Looking forward to hearing your insights on this.
Thanks, Gerard. Thanks for the introduction. So now I'm going to talk about what bots look like during hype sales. First thing you need to know is that basic bot detection techniques are not enough during hype sales. If we look at classical hype sales, so here on this slide, you see the traffic of an e-commerce platform during a flash sale. Note that we are talking about one of our customers, which is in the global top 500. And so it means that the flight line is already huge traffic. But during flash sale, it's even more. We see spikes around 30 times more traffic. And at least half of the sessions from this graph were run by bad bots. Now, if we look at these bad bots during these hype sales, these bots operate from clean proxies. So among half of the traffic, the bots were operating from clean IP addresses that belong to well-known American ISPs such as Comcast, AT&T, or Verizon. So how do bots access these clean proxies? So here you see a screenshot coming from SX Proxy, which is a proxy provider. And what you see is that for $500, you can get 100 proxies for 1 month. But basically, you're not even sure that these proxies will work. There is a disclaimer saying that it may not work on protected website. So it costs a lot of money for bot developers, but the return on investment is so high, bot operators are willing to spend a lot of money to rent high-quality IP. Also, these bots, you can imagine that if they are willing to pay for high-quality proxies, they are going to be haute couture bot, let's say. They are going to have clean fingerprint, clean HTTP headers, clean TLS fingerprint. All the usual detection techniques, signals will be perfectly forged. Also, these bots, they can pass CAPTCHA. Showing them a CAPTCHA is completely useless. You are only going to bother your legitimate human users, and it won't stop any of these bots. So they can pass CAPTCHA using a modified version of Puppeteer that can pass CAPTCHA, for example, the library Puppeteer Extra Stealth, or they can use CAPTCHA farms to pass CAPTCHA. So a CAPTCHA farm is a website that has a pool of human workers that pass CAPTCHA on the behalf of other bots. So you can interact with the CAPTCHA farm through an API and ask them to solve a CAPTCHA for your bot. And the CAPTCHA farm will answer with a valid CAPTCHA token. If you are interested about CAPTCHA farm and how we handle these farms at Datadome, we have published a blog post about it. So CAPTCHA bots, bots during hype sales are really challenging. They are not competing with humans, but they are competing with other bots. Moreover, the return on investment is skyrocketing, which justify really haute couture bots that use clean proxies from well-known ISPs that perfectly forge their fingerprint and also that are capable of forging CAPTCHAs. Moreover, scalping opportunity during flash sales gave birth to a whole new market, bot as a service. Now it's really easy to buy or to rent bots, especially for some release, to be able to get a lot of hot products. But relying purely on technology is no longer enough. During hype sales, you have a lot of challenges to handle. As I said, the bots are really sophisticated. So sophisticated bots require special bot detection measures and responses. These bots know how to handle CAPTCHA. They handle from clean IPs, and many of them are shared residential IP or mobile IPs. So you can't simply block the whole IP. It would be too dangerous, and it would impact your legitimate human users. Also, these bots have near perfect fingerprints. So usual signals that rely on HTTP headers or TLS fingerprinting won't be enough to catch these bots. Moreover, during a sale, there are two KPIs that we need to maximize. The first one is blocking as many bots as possible so that the inventory remains available for all real users. And at the same time, we want to ensure user experience is perfect. no human user must be mistaken for a bot. So at Datadome, we are really transparent about false positive. We have a false positive rate of around 1 per 10,000 CAPTCHA, 1 per 10,000, sorry. And this false positive rate is visible in our dashboard, and you can export data around it. But so, as I said, these bots are really really sophisticated. So it requires, of course, advanced bot detection, but also a security operations center team to properly handle these flash sales. So now I'm going to explain what's security operations centers during hype sales and how it can help handling these sales. So I will go through 4 different points. The first one is before the hype sale, what the SOC team is doing. During the hype sale, so when we activate the event mode, after the SOC, after the hype sale, so when we review, for example, the key metrics of the sale, and finally, as an enterprise customer, you also have access to the SOC team 24 hours a day, every day of the week, in case of emergency. So now I will explain what the SOC team does before the event to prepare it. So first, the customer will contact the support through his preferred channels, so Slack, email, or phone, 2 days before the event, and transmit some information linked to the sales, such as the date, the time, the product that will be sold, or their identifiers, or their URLs, so that we can properly monitor them. Also, what's interesting is to communicate the main business driver KPIs. So, for example, is it a limited edition, and the goal is to block all the bots so that human can buy it? Or also, what's the market interest in these products? Some products are hotter than others, so maybe they will sell faster, so it requires more attention. To prepare the sales, so the SOC team will review the current traffic and also the traffic of the previous hype sales. We will take into account the objectives communicated by the customer. And also, we will work on specific dedicated models for the hype sales. So these models, either we create them for the first hype sale, or we update them after the result of the previous sales. The idea is to have special dedicated machine learning model specifically for these sales. These models will be more aggressive and will be able to take more accurate decisions. So after the sale has been prepared by the SOC team, so it's the day of the hype sale, so we will go in event mode. And what's event mode? First thing is to activate the hype sales mode. So we will activate first the dedicated machine learning models, and also we'll start monitoring several metrics linked to the KPIs discussed with the customer. The SOC team also has internal alerting to monitor and ensure that all the metrics like false positive, false negatives, also that all endpoints are properly secured. And the SOC team is capable of investigating suspicious traffic live in case we start seeing suspicious thing. And in case we detect something that should be blocked and for which it's not the case, let's say an endpoint is not properly secured because it hadn't been activated, the SOC team will be able to quickly activate protection and communicate in real time with the customer through Slack or Zoom, depending on their preference. So as I said, during the release, during the hot sales, the goal of the SOC team will be to monitor the traffic to ensure everything is going well. Detect, for example, outlier or unexpected spikes of traffic and act accordingly if needed. And monitor false positives, so ensure that no human is impacted by the detection. So the SOC team is available during the sales and can communicate through several channels, for example, through Slack, Teams, or Zoom, in real time to alert the customer if something bad is going on, or just to provide them with a key matrix if needed. Regarding mitigation, once again, if something suspicious that needs to be stopped is detected, it takes less than 2 seconds to detect a new blocking bot pattern, on all the traffic worldwide. Okay, so now the flash sale has been successfully conducted. So after the event, we'll conduct a post-event review and we'll provide an action plan for the next releases or the next flash sales. So first thing to do is deactivate the dedicated hype sales model. And then we will analyze the main KPIs. For example, distinct number of IP addresses that targeted the website, or like the operating systems used by the bots during the flash sales. Also metrics related to false positives and negatives. And in case the customer has a business logs, or let's say a transaction failed maybe, or accounts that he wants us to, let's say you have a user account, you want more information about it, you can provide the user IP and we can analyze more in details what this user did during the flash sale to provide more details. So the idea is to review the efficiency of the detection models that have been used during the flash sales. For example, analyze traffic spikes, the false positives. We also provide information regarding the modus operandi of the bots and the efficiency of the actions taken during the event, if special actions were taken. And also we provide an action plan regarding what we learned from this sale and how we plan to prepare for the next hype sale in order to protect against bot. And then, as a customer, as an enterprise customer, you always have access to the SOC team through the support team. So you can send a message in case something suspicious is going on your website and you need further information. The SOC team is always available.
All right. Thank you so much, Antoine. That was very, very insightful. And just a reminder to everyone who's with us today, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to leave them in the chat, and we'll be addressing those just after our discussion is over. So taking some actual hands-on recommendations and what you can be doing to protect yourself and your business online. First of all, bots don't need weekends to rest, and we should really consider every day like Black Friday. Certainly, they are getting more sophisticated, and as I was saying earlier in our talk, we're detecting new patterns every millisecond. So bots don't have to sleep, really. So some key items that I would love for you to take away from this discussion is security, first of all, must not impair your performance. And if you are considering, a vendor to help you mitigate bots, you want to analyze their infrastructure. Is it global? Is it scalable? Are they keeping up with trends, or is it just kind of a set it and forget it? So you want to make sure that your bot protection provider is really on the forefront of detecting and knowing the latest information as far as what these nefarious bots are doing. Integration should be future-proof. Do they offer multiple integration options that are compatible with different infrastructures? Is multi-CDN included? Are they looking to the future to make sure that the product is continually evolving to keep up with your stack as well? Again, mobile is the new battlefield. Is your vendor able to really provide a robust, SDK solution to protect your mobile apps? Again, it's equally as important to protect these endpoints just as it is on your actual website. Client-side detection is mandatory. We want to be able to run detection through the client side, whether it's a JS tag or a proprietary SDK on mobile. That's going to give us a lot more insight to be able to block these bots in real time, and to have the best detection as possible, really. Rely on experts. How reliable is your vendor's SOC and threat research team? Are you able to reach them? How long do they take to get back to you? Are they able to devote resources during your special events to make sure that all hands are on deck, so to speak? When you're having a flash sale or during a holiday season, Black Friday, etc. And that is all we have for today. So I want to thank everyone for joining. Again, thank you, Antoine. We're welcome to your questions. So we'll stay on for a few minutes here to see if we can get any questions that come through. And we'll take it from there. All right, looks like one is coming through. So this is a good question. How much does it cost to get your bot SOC team to help with a sales event? Well, here at Datadome, on our corporate and enterprise plans, that is definitely included. No extra charges are incurred for that. But that's a great question. Let's see. All right. I'll just wait a few more seconds here to see if anyone has any other questions for us. Oh, looks like we have one. Yes. A lot of e-commerce sites are built on platforms like WordPress or Shopify. Are there any plugins you'd recommend those vendors include on their site? So we are compatible with most infrastructures, for sure. Perhaps Antoine, if you have anything to add to that. I know you could definitely check out our online documentation. If you go to datadome.co, we have everything there as far as our list of integrations.
As you say, we are compatible with most infrastructures. So we integrate at different levels. For example, at the CDN levels or on the load balancer. I'm not exactly sure if we support WordPress or Shopify integration, it's probably we can verify in the online documentation.
Perfect. Thank you, Antoine. Let's just see if one more comes through. All right. Well, I think that about does it. Again, please feel free to reach out to us. We have a great team here that's always happy to answer questions. So again, you can visit our website and discuss with us, but we look forward to continuing to work with some of our partners that are on this call and hopefully get to meet some new people and move forward. So thank you again. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your week and a great weekend. Thank you so much.